2025 data is in for the National Association of Realtor buyer and seller survey that they do, right? And this is something that Gary Keller will talk about at Family Reunion. Jess loves that slide where he talks about this is the snapshot of the average, what the seller thinks is the snapshot of what the buyer thinks. Do they value their agent? Did they like the experience? Did they learn anything about real estate? What's their age? All that stuff. Really, really comprehensive report. I don't have the whole thing here, but I do have, do I have the trend line? What am I going to show us here? I'll do this one. This one was kind of a cool article. So this is just, by the way, this is on NAR. I'm not doing anything fancy here. This is just highlights from they call it the profile of home buyers and sellers. And this is something that everyone should, why is this thing in my face? This is stuff that everyone should know in general. And what they did with this article was they just kind of put it into a few graphs, and it's kind of texty in the middle, and I can't highlight it, but I'll go through what jumped out at me. So I don't know why they start with all cash buyers, but they're giving us a cash buyer graph for the last 22 years. And what we're seeing is that in the last few years, for sure, I mean, we're at almost a quarter of all home purchases are now being done with cash versus, 10 years ago, it was 12%. So just the trend in America has been that, again, this is probably reflective of, there's a lot of equity in American homeowners on average. So people have built a lot of wealth through owning a home. And if you're in your second or third home purchase, you're probably able to basically do a cash purchase because you've built so much equity. You sell your one, you buy the other. We see this all the time around here. And so you're not dependent on that mortgage machination to get that objective. And so a quarter of all buyers are not even talking to a bank. They've got it figured out on their own, and more power to them, but that's not how it has historically been. Historically, cash buyers have been like 10%. So it's interesting stuff there. The second thing, and this is really the one that is getting a lot of attention on a lot of articles nationally, is this update on the first time home buyer profile. And it's bonkers. They used to be, so in the 80s, the typical first home buyer was in their late 20s. And they were going from kind of city rents to cheaper student loans. And then they were able to buy a home much earlier. Also, they probably had solid jobs in the 80s. I don't know. Life is hard for America's youth. Life is hard for America's everyone. But anyway, prior to 2008, the share of first-time buyers had a historical norm of 40%. And then check this out. The median age of first-time buyers now in 2025 is 40 years old. So we're basically, 12-ish year. It's like everything. Like I think people take longer to have children nowadays. Now they're taking longer to have their first home. I think it's harder to establish yourself in American life in a comfortable way. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but that was a big article that was circulating around this sort of like, wow, we are old when we buy our first house.
I mean, we're old. We're not old at 40. I mean, that's definitely interesting to me. Because, they've pumped this kind of American dream at us, where the dream of home ownership, you should be able to get a good job. People stayed with companies 30, 40, 50 years, and was able to, we're just not there. I think that kind of went out with the boomer generation. And, and my mom is very proud of it, breaking the mold, being a hippie, burn your bra, let's just say no to the system, and fight it. And, all of us kind of inherited a rebellious spirit as well. So I think we've been kind of chipping away at that well-established traditional American dream for decades anyway. So I'm not surprised. Yes, it's more expensive, but I think socially people are actually changing gears. Like me and Rich talk a lot about, are people, getting off grid, buying compounds. I mean, families moving in together. People usually go and buy their own houses and they get themselves set up, but it's too expensive. So now the profile of the buyer is changing and what they're buying is changing. And there's definitely people in the city, they're not going to buy anything until they can buy up here or in another state or relocate completely. They don't stay put anymore. There's so many issues and so many reasons why that's happening, but Yeah, not shocked. I definitely want people to be able to afford things and, create the life that they want that's comfortable for them. But there are just so many factors. And I think as a whole, I think people are changing what they want. So maybe this is not the American dream anymore. Maybe we need to be looking at something else that,
Well, that's possible too. That's
yeah,
possible too.
that's what I think is a big part of it, because what we want is very different now.
There's a little nugget here that I find interesting, and I don't want to read too much into it either on top of that, but this little sentence: in past years' reports, a gift or loan from a friend or relative was more common among first-time buyers than financial assets. So what they're basically saying, and this is almost like, that means maybe the boomers or the like mom and dad don't have as much free, or grandma and grandpa don't have as much free cash sitting around to give to grandson or granddaughter or son or daughter, whatever, to help them get into that house. Maybe culturally, do we give less? Do we not have it available to give? I mean, there's a lot you could look into at that, but I find that fascinating, because now basically it's for a young person, hey, go talk to a bank, right? And figure out what you could buy. And I don't say to a client, well, did you talk to your grandma? Like,
we're going to start saying that now. We're going to just start asking them, did you talk to grandma yet? Because she may have got something in the change purse for you.
It's just, I don't know. It's interesting.
Oh, that's good stuff. What'd you learn on Market Monday? Ask grandma.
They either don't care or they don't have it to give you.
Right. I mean, that's sad too, right? So what's that mean? Yeah. Oh God.
And then
wait, what is that? Wait, go back up for just a second. So it's repeat buyers is 62. All buyers average is 59. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got a repeat buy. I didn't actually look at this graph. A repeat buyer graph. What is this showing us? Median percent down payment. Oh, percent down payment. Okay, comparing first time buyer and repeat buyer down payment amounts for the last like 30 years. So the repeat is the dark line on top. They're putting more down. The middle is all buyers and our first time home buyers. So our first time home buyers are finding of course they're 40 now, so they do have more time to save money, but they are putting a full 10% down on average versus historically less. Interesting. And then I guess I didn't look at all these. Household composition. Oh, what's going on here? Oh.
What is that?
Okay, this is the composition of home buyer households for the last almost 35 years, 36 years. And if I can get it all on the one page. So married couples are 2/3 of the purchasing power, and then single females are up to 20. I did not look at this. Single females are 21% of buyers.
Oh yeah, I did hear that statistic. Yes, that women, are buying houses faster and more often than men, than young single men. Right. But see, when they get together, the line goes up. Find yourself a good one. Relationship advice on Market Monday. Okay.
Oh, this one's always good reading. The buyer's use of a real estate agent or broker. So what do they say in the text here? 88% of home buyers purchased their home through a real estate agent or broker. Home buyers primarily sought help in finding the right home purchase. 50%. I think that's like why they did it. They do this survey. And negotiating terms of the sale, 13%. So they don't really value your negotiation skills. For everyone that's putting on social media, I'm a great agent because I negotiate. That's such a low value thing. It's guidance that they look for. I can't get that strongly enough out to people. But home buyers also wanted help with negotiations, 12%, and help with paperwork, 7%. So they don't even care if you can do paperwork. They just want a good human that cares about them. I swear, that's all it is. Sorry, that's my soapbox about agenting. But the numbers bear that out. 88% still go through an agent.
I mean, they can't replace us. We just, like, just being able to bounce ideas. Like my buyer, Lisa, who I love so much, like she just wants to bounce her ideas. She's like, so what do you think? You want to talk to somebody that's seen houses and been in houses and sold houses and bought houses. Like there is still no better person than an agent to run your highest purchase ever through, because you just sometimes want to have a conversation. You can't do that through a computer. You can't do that through iBuying. You can't do that. even for sale by owner, who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to talk to that's going to help you? So you need us. They need us.
Yeah, they need us to be knowledgeable about the process and what to look out for. But again, the survey is saying that they're not like, they want you. Yeah. Anyway,
Like the fourth time I've seen you move that cat.
I was going to say, just leave her there. Just leave her
game we
there.
play all day, Casper. It's a game we play
She's
all day
not
long.
Pepper's not bothering anyone. We like her.
Gary Keller always likes this one. The length of the home search has been pretty steady for, even though with all the changes in tech and apps and internet and everything, all the tools we now have, it's honestly still taking approximately what is the weeks? It's approximately 10 weeks, and it's been 10 weeks since 01 essentially, right? Plus or minus a week or two. So that honestly hasn't moved a ton. I always find that interesting too. Just with as rapid as everything else changes, it still takes people on average like 2 months to figure it out. It's kind of fascinating. This one's also good reading for us professionals. Over time, agents are increasingly the go-to solution for people that own property to sell them. It proves to some extent that real estate agents are valued for that particular process and skill. And for sale by owners have dropped. They continue to drop. So again, that was a a downward trend for the last few years, and it continued in 2025. And again,
I just love this information just to send out.
Yeah.
If you look into these numbers even more closely, the amount, I think it's almost like 30% under market value that they end up selling for. And I think the number is actually, because I did this with Joy probably, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago, but it was like only 7% of them actually sell on their own, and the rest of them all end up with an agent anyway. Right. Yeah.
That's actually the one that I wish they asked is, did you start with an agent?
Right.
Yeah. NAR's new consumer profile shows agents how to thrive in 2026. This is just what you said, Jess. Let's use that data.
They know their market. Yep.
To create things that we can give to our database that says, hey, I know what's going on. I know what the trend is in American purchase and sell culture, and I'm prepared to help you with your needs because I know what is going on.
I think it's just engaging people with their questions and just letting people know that, there are no stupid questions. You may have a million questions and they don't know who to ask. Because maybe they haven't hired an agent yet. Maybe they're not ready to buy. They're not ready to sell. So they don't think that they need an agent now anyway, but they're thinking things and they're making shit up, and they're talking to their neighbor and they're talking to their uncle who hasn't sold a house in 50 years. They need somebody to talk to now in between sales. They need to talk to someone a year in advance. So the agent too, that's like, hey, I'm just here to list your house. No, it's about a relationship. I mean, I know I tell the same story, but I still have Linda Vital. She lives on Green Avenue in Brooklyn. She still hasn't sold yet. We still talk to each other. This is 15 years later. But people,
is she older or younger than 62, Jess? Sorry to interrupt you. But
older than 62.
Anyway, this one I didn't catch earlier. The median seller's age is up to 62. That is something that we didn't talk about.
Yeah, but they just need an advocate. So I think putting yourself out there as the advocate, like, it's never too early to talk to an agent. I think just making that safe, and that you're not going to hammer them every week. You ready to sell? You ready to sell? You ready to sell? No, I'm a resource. I'm here. You call me when you need me.
First-time home buyers shrank to a historic low of just 21% of all buyers. First-time home buyers are only making up 21% of the buying pool right now. Before 2008, that was 40%.
Wow.
That's also interesting. Affordability is the primary driver behind these trends, pushing an entire generation into renting long past the age where their boomer or Gen X parents were already building equity. High rents, student loan debt, and lack of information about low down payment loans and down payment assistance have also kept many buyers trapped in rentals.
There you go, Casper. There's your whole niche for the winter time. Just if someone needs like really working knowledge about all the grants and all the buyer programs there is, like, you just need to sit there and research like the 5 best things how you can buy money you didn't know you had that you can apply for, the 5 best freaking options, whatever, and just start putting content out like that. And people will call you.
All right. That is all that I had to cover